Welcome to V Speaks Conversations with Heart and Soul. I'm your host, Lisa Burwell, and I am so excited to be sitting here in Dave King's curated Sowall house. That is such a beautiful setting to have a podcast interview conversation with Brooke Kromer, who founded Kromer Collection with Compass Real Estate. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, I'm so excited too. I think the first time that you and I met very briefly was on a Sunday a couple of years ago when I was in Anthea's shop.
Yes.
In the hub. And you were there, quiet day. And I'm like, oh my God, who is this person with this chic haircut and so beautiful? And you were so sweet. And you said, oh, you just filled in a couple of times for her to help her out. And then the next time that we saw each other face to face, I think was very recently at Asia. Marta introduced us to one another again, and then I remembered who you were. But I found your presence and your story in real estate, and then parlaying from where you started out as a sportscaster with Fox and NFL. And you're very young. Tell us all how that happened, starting with, basically your family history and legacy in the football NFL world. Very impressive.
Thank you. Yes, I was actually born into the football world, born on campus at Miami of Ohio. My dad was already coaching. He played in college and then went straight into coaching. So I was literally born into it. There was no other option for me other than football, moving around, which eventually led to real estate just because of how much we moved, how many houses we were looking at. I mean, that was like my mom and I's favorite thing that was like our bond was looking at new houses when we were moving every almost 3 years to a different team. So I was thrown into it from a young age.
So how old were you where you understood the complete game of football?
I was pretty young. Yeah. I was watching, yes, my dad and I mean, he was working 17-hour days. 7 months out of the year, it's 17-hour days, 7 days a week. I was really not seeing him unless like when he was home, he was watching tape. So that was my time with him, he was showing me like, okay, this is how you double under block, and we're looking for this guy, and we would watch draft tape together and prepare for the draft, and he would be like, okay, look for a guy with long arms and a big butt. I was like, I can do that. So that was like my intro to it when I was a kid, was like looking just for, sizable guys. And then as I got older, he would teach me, the technique and what we were looking for in these players and how the plays worked and they unfolded and what the quarterback was looking for and how the line was, lined up for the run game and everything. So really it was our way of bonding, and it was my time with my father. So I kind of just
and you
into
understood it too.
Yes.
And you liked
and I
it,
loved
obviously.
it because that was my time with my dad. So it was, anything as a daughter of a football coach is, anytime you get with dad is so special, and it was always revolving around football. So I grew up with such a love for football. That was my number one love in life. And I knew as a child, that that was what I was going to do.
Wow.
And I didn't really know that there was anything else in the world because we didn't really hang out with business people or, like real estate agents, and all we hung out with were football people. So I truly thought that was the only option in life, that I was going to do something in the world of football.
In one of the podcasts that you were interviewed on that I was listening to last night, you said something to the effect of the football community is a small family knit community. Talk a little bit about that. Is it all the moving around? Is it that you're going to eventually meet up with almost everybody when people are traded or your dad's going to a new place?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. It's such a small fraternity. So if you think about it, there's 32 head coaches. There's 32 offensive line coaches. Right. There's really not.
That's small.
It's very small. There's only 32 teams, and there's 32 of each position. So you really, when you move around, you're with different coaches at every stop, is what we call it, every team. And you start to run into the same guys.
Mm-hmm.
Even now, with my dad retired from the Bills, and then our friend Joe Brady got the head coaching position, he calls my dad and he's like, "Hey, who do I get to fill your position?" And it's somebody that my father's trained because he wants him to do the same offensive line techniques. So all of a sudden, you start to build these trees as well, these coaching trees that you become a part of, and they become family. They're the people that have trained us, and we were around our whole lives. And typically, they have kids around the same age, so we grew up with their kids. So now I have coaches' kids, friends all over the country, and we just ran into them out in Phoenix when we were there for the golf tournament, and it's just crazy. It's a small, big world, and everyone thinks that football is so big and that there's so many people, but there's only so many people that are doing it at the top level.
Mm-hmm. So interesting. Um, Really random question here, but did you play sports in high school?
I did.
You did.
Yes.
What did you play?
I was forced to play sports. I was not good at sports,
Okay.
but it was, growing up in a sports world, this is what's going to teach you how to be the woman you need to be, how to be a leader, that's what it was all about. That's all my dad cared about, was that I was going to be a strong leader someday.
Mm-hmm.
So put me into sports. I played soccer as a kid until I didn't want to be all sweaty and outside and gross. And so I chose volleyball, where it was inside, and I
Right.
didn't have to be out in the muggy Louisiana weather every
Right.
single night.
Right.
So I switched around for that, but I was mainly a bench warmer. I was the hype girl on the sideline.
Oh, wow.
I was not great at sports, but I loved them. So I was always, hyping up my girls on the court and just being there to be there and be the leader of the team.
What was your favorite team/town that you lived in during the formative years while you were growing up and your dad was getting, moving on to different teams?
We loved New Orleans. And I think it was because of the age that we were at, too. I got there in 7th grade. I moved my junior year of high school, which was hard. But New Orleans as a whole, the people, the culture, and we had moved there pretty much after Katrina. And we were there with the Sean Payton team and Drew Brees, and we went to the Super Bowl. We won the Super Bowl. And
Congratulations. That's
thank you.
exciting.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was really fun. It was the best day of all of our lives because truly, I mean, people laugh when I say we, but we moved around a ton. We made so many sacrifices for my dad's career, which sacrifices that we wanted to make and we loved making them. But it was a family thing that we won the Super Bowl together because we were all the support system. But New Orleans people are just so special.
they
And
were.
we didn't truly realize how much we did for the community winning that Super Bowl after just after Katrina, and what joy it brought back to the community. And now with so many documentaries out about Katrina, I went back and watched them. My mom and I watched them together one night, and we were just bawling, crying, because we were like, look what we did for this community. Like,
Yeah.
how did we not even realize that when we were in that moment?
True.
And now it gives me goosebumps to this day because it's such a beautiful community, and it was to bring that light back to that city was so special. And the people just leaned into the team so much that we had like more support than we ever have before. The Buffalo Bills was a pretty close second, but I never lived there fully. But I went to every single one of the home games last year because it was my dad's last season, and I wanted to be there to support him like I was my whole childhood. And with real estate, I had that opportunity because the fall was quiet here. So
Right.
it was a
Good.
beautiful thing.
So if my stats are right, your dad just retired
He did.
and he's been in with the NFL for 24 years, 25 years,
A
something like
really
that.
long time.
Okay, what is he going to do next? Do you know? Does he know?
He has moved his butt down here to the beach, and he
Oh.
is so happy.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, so he's a local now on 30A, which
Okay.
he's really excited about. So he's going to do normal man things.
Okay.
He's never hunted.
Oh.
He doesn't go fishing. Like he just didn't know that existed because it's all during the fall, and football is in the fall.
This is a whole new world for
A whole
him.
new
He's
world.
going to be exploring like new territory.
Yes, and it's so much fun. But he also can't get coaching out of his system, so now I get coached every day in life.
Oh, maybe you can recruit him to
Oh.
Kromer Collective.
Oh yeah, yep.
maybe.
He is my main. Like we'll go to NFL events together, and he's Mr.
Oh,
Social Butterfly
He's
there.
schmoozing for you.
Yep.
Yeah,
So he
okay.
just goes, "Oh, look where I live. Look on 30A. This is so beautiful." And everyone's like, "What is that? I need to know what that
Oh.
is." So that has opened up my career down here because everyone sees what he has and what he's built down here and the investment and how much it's gone up
Hmm.
over the years that
Hmm.
he's owned.
Hmm.
And they're like, wait, I want to do that. Like, how do I do that? And he's like,
Right.
talk to my daughter. She's a
Wow,
realtor.
that's
So
great.
it's a fun little segue and it's fun for us to do together. That's now like we used to watch tape as kids. Now he's all into the real estate world, which is really fun.
That so now you're teaching him
Yeah.
to a degree. He's helping you, but you're now being able to, with your building your business and your leadership skills, which we were talking about before. I noticed from everything that I was consuming about different videos that you were on and interviews, and what you were saying as well is how important team building is to you. And you can see it. You don't have to tell people that you are building a team. You can see that you are building a team. And it's really refreshing to watch how, a leader doesn't have to be the one that gets all the attention. The leader has to lead. And sometimes leading means stepping back 2 feet and growing other people. And that is how you build a team. And, it's confidence without conceit.
Hmm.
It's just so many different things that you don't see that often. And what I see in you is such authenticity. And you're young and beautiful and you're
Thank
authentic.
you.
So it's very refreshing.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give so much credit to my parents and how they've raised us just growing up and
Yeah.
moving around so much and then watching my dad build teams my entire life. I mean, I was there to help him during the draft. We were building the team together. So I never realized how
Yeah.
formative that was to my
Yes.
career. And I
Yes.
mean, I never even dreamed that this would be my life. But it's so cool how everything you do in life
Hmm.
leads to where you were supposed to be,
Exactly.
and watching him build teams and helping him and learning from him to build a team not just around like your strengths but individual strengths and what can they bring to the table that I can't bring to the table. And
Hmm.
that's always what I focus on when I
Hmm.
bring people onto my team is what do you have that I can't do?
Hmm.
And everyone on my team has incredible strengths. Casey is incredible with short-term rentals and she's been in that field for, gosh, I think over 10 years now down here. So she knows where you can find the best investment property down here. And then Kyle Beard, I just
Hmm.
brought on, and he's incredible with marketing. Oh my gosh, he's
Good.
been a blessing.
Hmm.
And so that's really fun because I love marketing,
Hmm.
but with someone that's gone to school with for that
Hmm.
is it's opened up my eyes
Hmm.
to a whole new world. And then I'm just a little master networker over here trying to talk to every single person I can get my hands on. So,
Well, that's true, but then let's segue to that you went to college at Texas A&M and
mhm.
M, and you were in the broadcasting program, and talk about that. You were just raving about how phenomenal that program
Oh my
was.
gosh, it was the biggest godsend in my life. So I was just touring colleges, and my dad's athletic director from when he was at Miami of Ohio when I was an infant. Fast forward was the athletic director at Texas A&M when I was looking at colleges. So my brother was coaching at Oklahoma, and he was playing A&M in the Cotton Bowl my junior year, right when I was looking at colleges. So we just went to the game and started talking to the athletic director, and he didn't even know he was recruiting me, but he's talking about the tradition and how great of the school it is and the football team. And, football is my whole world. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go there. That sounds
Yeah.
amazing. And when I get there, he says, you can have whatever internship you want.
Mm.
And so I was like, wow, like
Mm.
what a blessing. So I chose to work for SEC Network on campus, 12th Man Productions. And it was incredible. And to realize that no other SEC school had the program that they did, we had 80 students working and we ran the entire broadcast. So I got to work everything behind the scenes. I was working the score bug. I was running a camera. I was an associate director. I was producing shows. And then, of course, I got all of my on camera experience there at a really young age. I went to college at 17. So I started being on camera at 16. I started training, but at 17, I was working for SEC Network.
Mm.
So just a
Incredible.
crazy, really fun thing that I got thrown into that I never knew was going to be my path. But I fell in love with it and
And you
got
were
to,
so well suited for it with your pedigree of being in a football family
yeah,
too. I mean, you really were prepared for that,
it was fun.
and very, very good at it, and natural. And what I want to ask you is, it's not been forever that women have been on the sidelines as broadcasters. what would you say? Like in the last decade, it's become more
Probably.
mainstream and a mainstay.
Mm-hmm.
When and during your time that you had, were you always very well received, or like was it tough? I mean, I would say that anything on camera in a live minute by minute, basically, no pun intended, play by play,
Right.
is not going to be super easy for anybody, and
Right.
especially in a world filled with men
Mm-hmm.
and football, big, gladiators.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
I think at a younger age it was a little harder because you're being thrown in and being judged by, oh my gosh, did she wear that on camera? Why was her hair like that?
Yeah.
Like those types of things
Hmm.
that at a young age you can't understand to just ignore it.
Hmm.
But then as you grow up, you figure out they want to be in that position, or there's something in their lives. It's not on me. It's like that's a them problem.
Hmm.
Once you realize that, I think that's when I found my confidence that I was like, I can do this. I can do anything that a man can do. Let
Right.
me just do it in cute heels and lipstick on.
Yeah.
And that's when I just really got out there and just gave it my all. I mean, I was out there at practice just interviewing some of the guys just for Be Real, just for my reel to
Hmm.
my demo reel to send
Hmm.
out to people.
Hmm.
So I just gave it my all, and I just really didn't care what people thought. I think when I got to NFL Network and Fox Sports, that's kind of when the target got on my back with my father being in the NFL, and everyone just thought I was handed this position. And little did they know I had been training with Laura Oakman, who's an incredible sideline reporter, and she has been for decades now. And she trained me starting when I was 16.
Hmm.
So they didn't see the behind the scenes work. They didn't see what I put into it in college, working countless hours every single day while everyone else was partying and I was out working sports events. So when I got to NFL Network, I, had a little bit of target on my back because everyone thought I was just handed my NFL Network job because my dad's in the NFL.
Yeah, a nepo baby, right?
Yeah. So that was hard
Hmm.
to deal with just in my own
Right.
brain. But
But
once I got
good how
past
you
it,
overcame that
yeah, once I
as
got
well.
past that, I was,
Yeah.
who cares what people think? I'm going
Right.
to prove them wrong. I'm going
Exactly.
to work so hard that they can't deny me.
Right.
So
That's good. I love
that's
the
what I did.
fierce tenacity that you
Yeah.
have, and that's going to serve you very well, and already has in real estate, but also in anything that you do in life. A healthy dose of both of them are very good to have in your arsenal to get
Hmm.
through like pretty much almost anything. So I was remiss to bring in the point that we featured you in the January issue of the magazine, first of the year this year, V Magazine. And I love this article on you as well and your team here.
Yes.
Tell me, what was that like for you? I mean, I know you've tripped the light fantastic with celebrities and football players, and you're not new to the world of celebritydom and or fame by any means. But I'm just curious to know what kind of response you got from the article.
Oh my gosh, everyone was loving it so much. I think it's fun when people down here can learn a little bit more about my life because, they see my Instagram and they're like, okay, you're at an NFL game every day. Like, what does that even mean? Like, why are you there?
Right.
So to hear, for them to be able to read something, and I'm really appreciative that you guys did this because it really opened up just people coming up to me being like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that about you. Like, I didn't know your sports background. I didn't know this. So it was really fun. I'm so
Yeah.
appreciative that you guys
Oh,
did it because it was so well received
yes,
and
and well written by Caitlin Burse,
wonderfully
who works
written.
with it, and she's
Yes.
a very good writer. And
It was so fun.
yeah, very, very well done. When did you move to LA? And what were you doing? Like, did you get a job right out there, and that's why you moved there?
So funny story. I always said I wanted to move to LA after college. And my mom was like, you are not moving to LA. No, that is crazy. And I just kept telling her it's going to happen. And then I was set to graduate in August of 2017. In March of 2017, I got a phone call from my mom saying, funny thing, we are moving to LA. We just got a call from the Rams, and my dad and brother got the coaching jobs with the Los Angeles Rams. So they moved there in March. So I said, Mom, I'm moving home. So I moved to LA after I graduated, and they were living out there, which was really nice because I was just out of college. I had no money. So I lived with my parents and tried to find a job. I thought graduating in August would be great because I could get a job in the NFL right away because that was the start of the season. Didn't realize I had missed all of the hiring. So for 9 months, my mom and I explored LA together, had no job. I was just waiting for the next hiring season to come around, which was fine because then I got to go to all my dad's games and we got to explore LA and I really felt like I knew the city. And then I got my job with Fox Sports the next off season and worked with Fox Sports for a while in the highlight department and then eventually got my dream job with NFL Network. And worked with them for about 3 years and
Wow.
loved every second of it.
And was your family still in LA at
Yeah.
that point in time? Oh, that's so
So I
good.
would work the NFL Red Zone show with Scott Hansen. And then if my dad had a night game, I would rush out of there because it's only the noon and afternoon games. I would rush out of there, rush over to the stadium, and I would be on the sideline of the game, like waiting for his game to start. And the highlights and everything that I had produced an hour before were being shown on the big screen. So it was really fun to be able to, go from NFL Network to the game, watch my work on the big screen, then watch my dad go and work. So really fun,
Very
full
exciting.
circle.
Like,
Yes, my daddy and my brother. Yes, they were
what
both
an exciting
there.
life. It would be hard for you to have anything boring after that,
Oh
wouldn't
my
it?
gosh, I know. My life is always a whirlwind of fun and events and sports, and
So fun.
I feel very blessed about it. I love it.
Awesome. And so then COVID hit and you were
COVID
there.
hit. Yep.
And I have a sort of a joke about where we live and you live now, that we were like one of the only places in the United States that just pretended that COVID didn't happen,
Exactly.
which I actually enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Actually being in a little bubble that we were able to, get back to it and just, be able to live.
Yeah.
And we were seemingly not only unscathed, but our area grew exponentially. And so that's when you made the move here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I'm not speaking for you, but you weren't liking LA at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because LA was like the opposite of what we were going through in like major lockdown, where I don't think you could even like do anything for quite some time, right?
Right.
So walk us through that transition in your life and how you got here.
So we had always had our off-season home here. So during the off-season, we would come when we were younger and have our summer jobs. So I worked at the real estate company in Rosemary Beach. I was their receptionist when I was like 16 and did a bunch of different odd jobs around Rosemary Beach. We always had a home here. So it was kind of always our home base. So during COVID, it was crazy out there. Everything got locked down. We couldn't even walk outside. I was living in Beverly Hills at the time and moved up to be with my family because I was so bored being alone. So I was like, we're all going to just bunker down together. And finally, a month in, I looked at them and I said, I'm going to go to Florida while we can still fly. You guys don't have to come, but I'm going to go to the beach house and go live my life. And eventually, it's scary at first because you're in LA and all they're telling you is you're going to die if you go outside. And I finally convinced my family to get on a plane. So we fly out here. We're sitting here. I'm on ESPN summits every day, just trying to stay relevant and trying to stay in front of the sports broadcast industry as everything was completely shut down. We didn't know when football was going to come back, so everyone kind of got furloughed. And I just had this epiphany sitting on the porch one day. I was like, I'm going to reach out to my friend Ashley Mitchell, who works at Rosemary Beach Realty, and just see if I can just go shadow her for real estate and just see what I think about that, see what I like. Because I always thought I would be a sports reporter until I was pushed off camera for being older and then get into real estate. And I was like, why not now? So I literally wake up the next morning from a text from her. I had not texted her. And she was like, hey, I want you to come see this house with me. And I was like, okay, this is God. Like, if this is anything, this is God. He is placing her in my life to be like, go do it. This is what you're meant to do. So I went and looked at a house with her and I was like, cornered her. And I was like, I really want to shadow you. I really want to see if I love this. And she's like, I was going to ask you the same thing. So I got on their real estate team, the Clark and Mitchell team here in Rosemary Beach Realty. And that was when real estate was booming. I mean, we would literally blink an eye and sell a house. It was insane. We did, I think it was like $324 million in sales that year. And it was so much fun.
So
and
much fun,
they
yeah.
were trying to tell me this is not normal.
Right.
And I'm like,
You
this is
couldn't
great.
believe it.
This
Yeah.
seems normal.
Yeah. Wow. Well, it was normal.
It was.
For several years.
Right.
How many? A good
Gosh.
3?
A good 3 years.
A good 3, maybe even
And I'm 6 years
4.
in. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
there were a
good
couple
3.
years of now that everyone's like, oh, if you're still making it, you're good. You're
Yeah.
going to be set. And I've actually gone up in production every single year since. I broke off from their team and made my own team with another woman for a while, for a year, and we crushed it. And then
Really?
I was like, okay, I got my wings. I'm ready to fly. I'm going to start my real estate team, and joined Compass so I could be in a place where I could build it however I want. And
When was that? How long have you been with Compass?
I have been with them, it'll be 2 years in May.
Okay.
So I've absolutely loved it. It's opened up my entire world of real estate, learning just how to network with agents outside of this state and get referrals that way and build my business that way, which networking is my favorite thing on earth. So I have absolutely adored that side of things. And then I jumped back into podcasting, but instead of podcasting about sports, now I'm podcasting about real estate, which is so much fun because I'm still getting that creative outlet and just
Right.
speaking about my new career, which of course sports is always intertwined anyways because I
Right.
sell to so many athletes and coaches. So
Right.
it's been fun.
Could you educate me on something that I've heard a couple of times, but I haven't put all the pieces together. So Compass is merged with a couple of other people. So you're like, talk about all the things that the parent company owns because you are the largest real estate company
Yes.
in United States,
Yeah,
right?
I think
Okay. Will
so
you will
now.
you educate me and people that don't know out there?
Yes. So our CEO is kind of just acquiring all of these smaller brokerages or brokerages that might be struggling a little bit and need a little guidance on the business side, and to kind of taking them under his wing. We have the full Compass technology, which is incredible. So we can offer so much to our clients that just a normal brokerage cannot. He's really pushing the boundaries as well, which is rubbing a lot of the real estate world wrong, but it's opened up our business and what we can do and provide for our clients tenfold. It's been incredible, the opportunities that our clients now have through Compass.
So
So it
not
really,
just in 30A too, which I know we're all selling, our area in 30A to some degree.
yeah.
But then you made a post on Instagram recently where you have a listing in New York.
Yes.
Okay, talk about that.
So I partner with agents all over the country. So I do a lot with sports and entertainment clients, just coming from the NFL world and having so many connections and knowing myself how much we moved and how often we moved and how it's not always the easiest thing to find a school, find that's a lot on when my dad was gone. He gets hired, he's off to the team, he's already coaching. My mom, it's on her to handle the rest of our lives. So the move, finding a new house, finding new schools. So I figured out a way to be able to help athletes and coaches relocate. And I have an incredible group of people all across the country that are agents in different areas. So if a coach is moving from the Bills to the Rams, I find them an agent at Buffalo and an agent in Los Angeles. And I kind of work hand in hand with them the whole transaction. So I will be very hands-on and be their main point of contact. A lot of people in the NFL world, they just have a problem trusting just anybody just because
I
they're a
can see
big
that.
name and
Right.
it's
Celebrities.
exactly. So to have someone that's done it themselves and knows their lifestyle and knows their needs, I pair them with a mover. I can find someone to transport their dogs. I can find someone to help move their car, find someone to design their home, or at least just pick and choose pieces that they need. So I have like a full caliber of every industry you could imagine that these athletes and coaches may need for moving. And I just help facilitate all of it because I know how much it's just such a burden on the wives when they're also handling the kids and their emotions of moving. And
You understand.
it's a lot. Yeah. So it's really fun for me to be able to now give back to to this world that I was in, and just from someone that went through it
Right.
themselves.
What better person than
Yes.
someone that went through it
Yes.
themselves, for
That's my new
sure.
passion, and I've really
Yes.
loved it.
Yes. Such a good story. And that's a differentiator for you. So many things are a differentiator for you. Your background, how you're presenting yourself and your company and your team. But then, being able to like sort of own that marketplace is a really big deal. So I really like talking about that because I want to show the world like all that you have going, and you're young, and people ask me like, do you have your real estate? Why aren't you a realtor? And I'm like, well, I like being like the only person that lives here who isn't a realtor.
Right.
That's my differentiating,
Yes,
right?
exactly. There's
Which
a
is
lot of us here.
crazy because everybody is in this business. But
Yes.
is there a good esprit de corps among you all, or is it like as cutthroat as you think maybe it could be at times?
The best agents collaborate. I'll
Okay.
say that. The
Okay, good
ones
answer.
yes, the ones that are at the top that are crushing it,
Uh-huh.
they're collaborating. They're calling me all the time, being like, hey, when do we get to work together? When are you going to sell this house? Come see this house. I really want you to see it. I know you're going to have a client for it.
So
That's
they're
how we
courting you.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
how we make,
Yeah.
our best, that we have the best relationships. And that's how we make our best business is, having those good relationships and trusting each other to be like, hey, come look at this private listing. I know you're going to have a client for it.
Yeah.
So that's been really fun is I feel like I'm like rubbing elbows with like the
Yes.
top dogs down here and they're the sweetest people on earth. And then you get the ones that are not collaborative. It's almost like I don't want to say a jealousy thing, but like they're not getting it. They're
Yeah,
not
they
getting
don't
that.
understand that competition can still be collaborative,
Oh my gosh,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's enough business for all of us down here.
Right.
And I'm not going to sell to the same people that everyone else is selling to. I have my own niche and I like it. I like it that way. I like selling to my people. I love new clients and new friends. But my love is when I get to show my friends properties down here or my athletes who are all my friends. So it's really fun.
So good. So, just a little segue back to what we were talking about earlier with like, what was it like in your household, like watching all the sports and all that? And, I'm the opposite of you, and I do not know everything about sports. And I like listening to it, I like watching it and being part of like the win or the loss, whatever. But I need a play by play to watch the television set. So, because of that, I want to know what you and your family thought of the recent Super Bowl. Like, how bad? Well, that was sad, wasn't it?
It was
Well, I
pretty
mean,
sad.
it was so sad.
The saddest part was that my brother and my dad could have been coaching against each other in it, and that would have been a very
that would have been
incredible
tough.
game because both of these teams are really, really good. And it would have been fun because my dad's offensive line and my brother's offensive line, they both coach offensive line and run game are like, I wouldn't say too similar, but like,
Similar enough.
they taught each other. They
Right.
did it together at the Buffalo Bills and at the Rams together. Now they're coaching separately. So it would have been so much fun. It would have been like an offensive shootout. And then we get that. And I'm just like, come on. But I don't even think my dad watched it. I think that
it was too sad.
he retired and he was like,
Yeah.
goodbye, I'm out. I don't need this. I'm going to go. I think he went like shooting or something with his buddies. Like he was like, no, thank you.
Well,
I'm good.
Well, so it sounds like it was his time to jump to a new life, a new chapter.
Yes,
Which is really
exactly.
good.
Oh
To
my
not be
gosh.
sad about leaving something, but be, happy.
I think there's a power in leaving on your own terms, which is really, really cool. And I applaud him for it because it's not easy. I mean, he was at the top of his game, basically. I mean, he could go to any team and tell them exactly what he wants to be paid, and they'll just pay it for him because he's
a
that
winner.
good at coaching the offensive line and run game. And for him to step away and just know, like, this is my time. He always says it's a young man's game. And it's true. Like those grueling hours, he just couldn't do it anymore. And he has 2 grandbabies. My brother has 2 babies and he wasn't seeing them. And we were going out there during the football season and seeing the babies. And like, I don't go 2 months without seeing my nephews. I'm obsessed with them. And for him, like he's watching my life and he's like, I want to live that life. Like that's crazy. She gets to live at the beach.
You taught
she gets
him.
to go see the grandbabies. So he was like, you know what? He missed out on a lot on our lives, which was fine. We all sacrificed a lot for our lives that we get to live now, but he didn't want to miss out on their lives. And so that was, I think, one of the driving forces of the retirement.
Tell the audience, the listeners, your dad and your brother Zach, and is your dad Aaron?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Just so that they can look it up if they don't know. But I'm sure they're all going to know who we're talking about. Real estate. Now let's get into some things that like would be educational too. Interest rates are not coming down, right?
They just did a little bit.
They just did a little bit.
They just dipped below 6, which is the lowest they've been since 2022.
Okay, so tell people that might be thinking about buying something, why it's so important to buy now
Yes.
because of that.
We have great inventory, which a lot of people are looking at days on market and are like, what's wrong with this house? The interest rates, or what's wrong with that house? They were insane.
Right, they
And
were.
everyone was like, no, I'm not going to get a 7% interest rate on a $3 million house. Like, that's crazy. So everyone was kind of waiting, and it was a waiting game. It was to see, what was the office going to do with tariffs and everything. And the stock market's wild. And so just waiting for all of that to come down. Now that the rates have ticked down a little bit, it's bringing a lot of buyers back to the market. So that's why I've been telling people for the past 2 years, buy now, refinance later. You will be fine. And the prices go up as soon as the interest rates go down as well. So we are waiting. I mean, the end of this year is going to be crazy. I think it's about to start in spring break when everyone comes back down here and we have buyers in the market. I think it's going to start the craze a little bit. My phone is already ringing off the hook.
I think you're right.
Yes.
And that's only a week from now. I think the first spring break is the 8th, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
Exactly. So interest rates drive prices around here. So as soon as those interest rates come down, which they're starting to tick down, our prices are going to go back up because demand is going to come back to the market. And we have a lot of supply. So I think everyone that's in it and working hard and getting their listings on the market, we're all going to have a really good year.
And then it's also an investment. And you were saying this on another podcast I listened to last night about, go buy something now, renovate it some, and talk about the tax advantage of that.
Huge.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't.
Yep. The
yeah,
big,
I
beautiful bill
learned
that
from
Trump
you.
passed
Yeah.
this year. It was, it did so much for our area because we're so heavy in Airbnbs and short-term rentals. So with a short-term rental, any money that you put into that property the first year, you can 100% depreciate. So that's new furnishings, new floors, new bathrooms, paint, literally anything that when you purchase the property and you line it up to be a short-term rental and you put this money into flipping it or just even little things like just a little bit of furniture refresh, you write off all of that. So huge tax advantages for all of my buyers, so it's great in our area because a lot of our area, there's a lot of people that have come to our area and renovated, but there's also a lot of properties that are older now. And so they need the love. And so it's great for everybody because one, the properties are getting remodeled. Two, the investors are making way more money and saving money on their taxes. And then they can put it on a rental program and get revenue right away, and then hold on to it for about, I always say 3 to 5 years, sell it, you're going to make some money, and then buy another one and do it again.
Wow.
That's the game.
Wow. So refreshing, as I said earlier, and watching you, it puts a smile on my face. I think you're doing a great job, and I think I love your energy, and I love how vivacious and happy you are and just like doing your thing. What's because you're not a person that doesn't see into the future or have desires, is there something on the horizon after this, after you continue growing your business? Like, what else do you want to do?
Oh my gosh. I'm just loving this moment that we're in right now. I am loving building my team. I do it very intentionally. So it's fun. Everyone loves each other. It's just special. I just want them to succeed, honestly. I want to build this powerhouse team down here that's what people think of when they think of 30A is Kromer Collective.
Awesome.
And that's my goal.
Love it. I love it. Well, do you have anything else that you'd like to share? I think that this was a great conversation,
Well,
which I
thank
really
you.
wanted to have
You're
with
very
you.
talented. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you are as well. Crazy. So good. And you're so young. So like that's what I guess when I'm asking the question, like what does someone so young that has done so much already, what does your future hold? Not that your present isn't already like spectacular is really kind of, what I'm saying. Who knows?
Yeah.
Right? You take over the world,
Yes.
which will be great.
Hopefully balance a beautiful family
Yeah.
in with this real estate world.
Yeah.
That's my next passion.
Yeah. Well,
So
good for you. Well, thank you for being here and thank you for being in the magazine.
thank you.
And I hope we stay in touch.
Yeah.
And you're so delightful. Thank
Aw,
you.
Thank you. I'm honored to be
All right.
here. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. And again, a special shout out to Dave King, who owns this beautiful space that we're in, Sowall House. And also, and I've been remiss in giving a shout out to the production team as well. Sorry, Mark Little Productions and our team here. And everybody, thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.